letter kanyak. Kunan itiket greetings of peace and prosperity. Deto'y context na deto'y kakadwa, if you recall, few sessions ago or few months ago, may ni Mayor ito'y nga nang kita met lang nga may pasa tayo DJ resolution or ordinance sa DJ panggap DJ purchase ti 80 nga FP vans para dito ibarbarangay sa po. To give you a background ka DJ Apo, when we passed the 2026 budget, it was supposed to be a multi-year Apo kasi DJ amount nga masapol ket hang nga kaya ti budget tay sa idi dadot i-prioritize tayo po. They found a way nga to make it one transaction Apo. So we pass it DJ Apo. DJ approve budget contract na Apo was 92 million. Dua nga bidders ti nag-participate. Mesa nangabak bimaba DJ bidding na ti 200,000 so 91,800,000 tinangabak nga bidder which was ti branda Isuzu nga FB. Compare ka dito mesang nakilaban ket no linukatan da DJ bid na kuma nakita da nga nabababa ti 7.2 million DJ bid na. Kahit nasa wen, nakasalbar kumati syudad tayo ti 7.2 million na po. So, dito yung letter na dito ya po. During the said bidding of the back bids and awards committee, disqualified us even without opening our sealed bid on the grounds of our company is owned by a government official. On this ground, we would like to ask the city leaguer, being the back, to find any legal basis on its grounds of disqualification. Section 89 of the Local Government Code is not applicable as a basis of the said disqualification Apo. Being that the said member is a provincial board member and does not have any influence directly or indirectly with the decision of the funding of the city of Laoag or any LGU under its jurisdiction that matters. It simply has the review power that is solely to determine is the lower Sanggunians are acting within the authority to enact laws. To add on this, none of the owners of our company had any influence in the creation of this program and the funding of such. Dito yung project Apo ket panunot ni Apo Mayor DJ amutay amin DJ Apo nga kayat na nga ikanti emergency response ti kada barangay Apo tapno alalisto ti panagresponde Apo. Number 2, another concern is that the specification posted by the Bids Award Committee were tailor-fitted, so much that no other vehicles would be able to fit of the said description. That is actually illegal. The DBM itself only allows that the posting of specs to be if diesel fed should not exceed to 3,000 cc. If any of its technical working group can actually prove that the said vehicle are better for the constituent, then we would like to see it in a written response. During the said bidding, the bidder was announced as the winner as per the live streaming, did not meet the 3 specifications. So, ibagbagan na Apo nga di sinangabak nga bidder hang na-qualify ti talo nga specification, yam iso na lata ti nangabak. Iso dito ti kunan nga di details na ti ABC ket 91,200,000 gaya po tapos ti nangabak nga winning bidder is 91,160,000 so bimabalang so na ti 40,000 na po not DJ initial nga 200,000 ti bagak. Our company bid that was not allowed to be open, North Point Alliance Motor Corp, 83,980,000. As you can clearly see, there is a difference of 7.1 million. Said saving could have been better used for serving our Kailians. How can such a bid discrepancy be junked as easily? As a taxpayer, this concerns us most, especially the time where austerity is being practiced because of the recent fuel crisis and especially in the time when corruption is being scrutinized by the people. If our company won this bid, the city would not only save 7,180,000, it will also gain at least 881,000 of city taxes Apo. Kaputa dito yung corporation is located in Laoag City, DJ bayaden ti city nga 84 million king kwanakit sumrek pay kano kada tayo as a revenue DJ. Iso bagbagan ito Apo 8 million ti savings ti maala ti city. ka DJ nga maalang L300 ti Mitsubishi compared ka DJ nangabak nga winning bidder po. So, ado pa dito yung bagbaga nito yan po, jaklata ibas-basa ito yan, this is very alarming. I'm not saying kani mayor dito, yan ka dito yung back tayo po. Because, how do they allow such flaws po, nga awang pa'y research na, iso ni mayor mismo po, had forwarded such letter to us, tapos attachment ito iti response ti bids and awards po, the response ito. So I'm turning this over po to the joint tri-committee actually po for their review and studies if there is any violation, because 8 million nga pakasalbaran ti syudad tayo po dakkel DJ nga papatan na. Sayang po, iso lang di makunak at FB ba na damit specification na kita nyo nga nalay nga po. So, I am endorsing this letter po from NAMCO North Point Alliance Corporation to the Committee on Human Rights because DJ violation, DJ Corporation, to the Committee on Ways and Means at DJ na po kung 8 million po ken may sa pa yung committee nga laglagipek. Good governance, gayam. Gaputa DJ performance digito'y bakte o apo nga handang i-research nga nalaing market scooping. Agad-adal tayo ti masterals po at DJ nga market scooping. Dito yung amin, baro nga law tayo po, RA 12009. Barbaro DJ nga law tayo nga it was enacted last year lang and implementation period is tatta ingana to no 2027 sa or 2028. So I also introduce an ordinance so i-remind ko po Respisyo DJ ordinance ko about transparency and live streaming po very good nga na i-live stream time at dito process na po ngem DJ de kunakon I introduce an ordinance nga to make it institutionalize it to Laoag City po tapno dito corruption, dito rig bidding, kadatil tilang ada po, mapreventaran na po because sayang dito kwarta ti umili po no hang gusto ti pakosusaran na iso the lead committee po, Ways and Means. Sec, please take note of the endorsement to the Tri-Committee, the letter of the NAMCO Corporation and also the letter forwarded by Honorable Mayor Apo.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is addressed to the Honorable Mayor. Recommend to the letter of Mr. Faustino Tungpalan, Sales Supervisor of NAMCO. Greetings. This is in response to the letter of Mr. Faustino Tungpalan, Sales Supervisor of Northbound Alliance Motors Corporation, pertaining to their disqualification as bidder and the purchase of 80 multipurpose vehicle. Copy of which was furnished also to the members of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. Okay. To clarify things, during the opening of bid proposals, which transpired last Monday, July 6, 2026, NAMCO was declared disqualified on inspection of its technical eligibility based on two grounds. First, the corporation was disqualified for non-compliance of Section 81 of Republic Act 12009. Under such provision, the bidder shall disclose the ultimate beneficial ownership of an entity. Failure to comply with the aforementioned provision shall be a ground for the automatic disqualification of its bid. It was observed that in the Certificate of Ultimate Beneficial Ownership of NAMCO, the list of ultimate beneficial ownership only contained the name of Miss Jonabi C. Nang, who owns 25% interest of the corporation. However, aside from her as the stockholder, all other stockholders as stated in their general information sheet were not declared. There are apparently 12 stockholders whose names were not reflected in the certification of ultimate beneficial ownership. Under the procurement law, beneficial owners refers to any natural persons who ultimately owns or controls or exercises ultimate effective control over the corporation. This definition covers the natural persons who own or control the corporation as distinguished from the legal owners. This ground for disqualification was intentionally evaded and not discussed in their letter. It is noteworthy to mention that one of the corporation's controlling stockholder, who also acts as president of the corporation, appears to be Honorable Johanson Chua, who is currently holding the elected position of Sangguniang Palaloigan of the province of Ilocos Norte. Being the president of the corporation, he is considered a beneficial owner, among others, due to ability to exert a dominant influence over the management or policies of the corporation. The other stockholders fall under the other classifications of beneficial owners as categorized in the beneficial ownership declaration. Thus, there is indeed a misdeclaration in or under declaration of beneficial ownership in their submitted certification. Under the provision of RA 12009, particularly Section 81.1, it is required to disclose the ultimate beneficial ownership of an entity. Failure to comply with the provisions of shall be a ground for automatic disqualification of the bid in consonance with Section 59 of the implementing rules and regulations, which is stated that bids that fail to include any requirement or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be considered as failed. The non-disclosure of other beneficial owners makes the certification incomplete or patently insufficient. Now, second, the corporation was found to be in violation of Section 89 of the Local Government Code. Under the said provision, it shall be unlawful for any local government official or employee, directly or indirectly, to engage in any business transaction with the local government unit in which he is an official employee or over which he has the power of supervision, or with any of its authorized boards, officials, agents, or attorneys whereby money is to be paid, or property or any other thing of value is to be transferred directly or indirectly out of the resources of local government unit to such person or firm. It is equally important to emphasize that the Sangguniang Palalawigan, to which the Honorable Johanson Chua is presently a member, has the power to review ordinances and resolutions passed by the component city. In this instance, during the review of the resolutions passed by the Sangguniang Panlungsod of Laoag, Resolution number 2026-1758 on June 22, 2026, City Resolution number 13-2026-192 entitled A Resolution Approving City Development Council Executive Committee Resolution number 08 Series of 2026 pertaining to a resolution endorsing the reprogramming of the unexpended balances from the 20% development fund of previous years 2016 to 2025, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, and 25, amounting to 36,692,300 pesos for the additional funding of the procurement of 80 units of barangay multipurpose vehicle, which was declared valid during such session. Honorable Johanson Chua was present. In effect, he is in a position to exert influence over the said procurement by the Laoag City Government. Hence, it cannot be said that he has no interest in said transaction. This is the circumstance precisely being prevented by the said provision of the Local Government Code. Therefore, with all due respect, he cannot deny that he could have further directly or indirectly directly the decisions and funding of the city of Laoag or any LGU under its jurisdiction. Another concern in his letter was the allegation that the specifications posted by the bids and awards was tailor-fitted. While it is true that the Department of Budget and Management prescribes that if a vehicle is a diesel-fed, the same should not exceed 300 cc, 3,000 cc as displacement. It does not prohibit the end user from determining on its own the displacement requirement provided it does not exceed the required limit or threshold. The end user and the Bids and Awards Committee designated the requirement for displacement as 2,400 to 2,800 cc, which is well within the limit. Furthermore, there are several motor vehicles which could qualify for the said requirement, and it is not only applicable to a sole brand or model. Furthermore, he alleged that the alleged winner did not meet 3 of the specifications, which is a patent lie. The results of the Bids and Awards Committee live streaming and the documents of the Bids and Awards Committee could be verified that such reservation is not true. The bidder can secure a copy of the video of the by accessing the link. Or you can just see the link there. It's hard to read. The link. Also, the Commission and Audit Team Leader of Laoag City, Mr. Cornelio Viernes, was present during the bidding. The winning bid met all the technical specifications as reflected in the purchase request. As to the sentiment that there is a difference in bid amounting to 7,180,000 pesos of savings if NAMCO would have qualified as a bidder, such allegation is untenable because from the very start, NAMCO was disqualified as to its technical requirements. Therefore, the Bids and Awards Committee is nowhere obligated to open their bid proposal. Bids are evaluated first under technical eligibility, and if a bidder is disqualified, their financial bid proposal remains completely unopened. Even assuming arguendo, di arguendo ngayon pandatabo kite low term, meaning even assuming without necessarily admitting that their bid declared as eligible to bid, that their bid proposal is cheaper, it cannot be taken into consideration because they failed to be declared as eligible to bid. Furthermore, even assuming arguendo that their bid proposal is lower, the price is not the sole determinant of the winning bid because the bid criteria adopted by the Bids and Awards Committee is most economical and advantageous responsive bid which weighs technical quality alongside price rather than automatically awarding contracts to the lowest bidder, to the lowest upfront bid as per the provision of RA 12009. The letter also alleged that many of the members of the BAC are the same people as during the past administration who have disqualified them for unreasonable basis and tailor-fitted postings. Such allegations are malicious and unfounded. Also, the letter sender claimed that the trading company had no accessible service center within Ilocos Norte, and that Isuzu has no service centers in Ilocos Norte. The following are the requirements for the aftermarket. Warranty, 100,000 kilometers or 3 years, whichever comes first. PMS labor for the first 1,000 and 5,000 kilometers check-up. 1 year comprehensive insurance and 3 years registration with third-party liability. The eligible bidder certified that the supply and delivery of 30 units ban for for social services and development purposes to be deployed at barangays is covered for manufacturer's warranty of 100 kilometers or 3 years with other campers, PMS labor of 1,000 and 5,000 kilometer checkup, including parts and services. The eligible bidder even certified that the vehicle offered has available stock and spare parts within 15 years after the acceptance of the unit. Hence, he cannot claim that the eligible bidder does not have any official accreditation or certification of warranty coverage from its principal or the brand it decided to supply. What is most appalling is their allegation that because they are the city's top taxpayer, the Bids and Awards Committee is close-minded to believe that it would prevent the city from making sure it is getting the best deal and the best deal quality for its constituents solely on the idea that one of the owners is a public official. The local government cannot just brush aside rules, set forth pertinent laws in order to accommodate a taxpayer of the city. There is even no guarantee that the offered vehicle of the letter sender would be the most economical and advantageous to the city. Again, their bid can no longer be reviewed because they were already declared disqualified as to eligibility. Moreover, upon perusing the brochure as attached in their eligibility documents, they are offering a 300 cab and chassis Euro for 2.2 L diesel, which does not meet the specification set forth by the end user and the Bids and Awards Committee. It is also important to mention that in technical specifications, they indicated in the state of compliance the word comply. However, in their brochure, it is apparent that they cannot comply with it because the engine displacement of their proposal is merely 2,200 cc, which is significantly lower than the requirement of 2,400 to 2,800 cc engine displacement. How can we then get the best deal from them if they cannot even meet the requirements of our end user needs? Such sentiment is ridiculous and biased. Lastly, on the issue of the propriety of the letter as a remedy of the disqualified bidder, the disqualified bidder should file a motion for reconsideration within 3 calendar days from receipt of written notice of verbal notification of the back decision. The bidder was present during the opening of the bid proposals on July 6, 2026, and he was apprised of the fact that they were disqualified. It was also unanimous decision of the back that the letter is insufficient in form and substance because it did not state that he is requesting a reconsideration of the back decision, particularly the disqualification. Rather, the letter was worded and interpreted as a protest and express of sentiment. Thus, in effect, there was no motion for reconsiderations filed by the disqualified bidder. Likewise, such letter cannot be treated as a protest since the filing of the motion for reconsideration is a condition precedent before a bidder can file his protest accompanied by a payment of corresponding filing fees. The BAC is exercising due diligence. Also issue a written notice of disqualification dated July 8, 2026 and was received by the disqualified bidder on July 9, 2026, assuming for the sake of argument that the counting of 3-day period will start from July 9, 2026, the bidder has until July 12, 2026 to file this motion for reconsideration. However, the bidder did not comply within the reglementary period. To reiterate, the proper remedy is to file a motion for reconsideration of the decision within 3 days from receipt of the verbal or written notice of disqualification. Thereafter, upon the denial of the MR, the bidder can file his protest. Considering the fact that the bidder filed the mere letter, the same cannot be given due course. As a consequence, the decision of disqualification has attained finality. The BAC steadfastly follows strictly the provisions set forth by RA 12009 and commits to continue serving the best interest of the city. Thank you. Signed, Nelda Sicasas, back Vice Chairman, Attorney Joshua Kawili, back member, Clinton Ulep, no sign, Engineer Marcel Batuak, Dr. Rodrigo Katkatan, back member, and Attorney Ed Bonsid, back chairman. Sign. Mr. Chairman, this is now the answer. So, we have a copy given by the Bids and Awards Committee. May I respectfully move that the copy of this be furnished or be submitted to the Tri-Committee referred to by the chair, and may I move that this will form part of the committee report, whatever that will be made by the tripartite committee, Mr. Chairman.